Hello, welcome back to the Freak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I continue with my Let's Play of Lady Webb and Her Agents, or Pillars of Eternity, The White March. It's totally fine, ladies and gentlemen. I basically just did this level up and ran to the next place we were going to go to, and realized my recording never started, so I went for about 3 minutes and was like, oh, well, that's awkward. Anyway, I was going to get her some survival because we don't really need her to have the most high athletics ever in the history of mankind because our boy Adair has it. So we're going to get her that, and I debated whether I was going to go with Greater Lay on Hands. Critical Focus didn't care for so much. Deep Faith looks okay. It's more of a defensive passive, which is nice. And then we have this, which essentially will allow us to shoot fireballs on our marked target. And then this one basically gives us attack speed whenever we use it for all of our allies around. So yeah, that one. That is what I chose, and now we're going to head off to go talk with the Crucible Knights and hope that they join us. I mean, I was hoping they would already, well, hoping they'll let us join them, I suppose. I was hoping they would already already talk with us, be some sort of interaction or, I don't know, dialogue option to get them to join us in our war against the other weird guy. But I suppose we're going to just have to go fight that if nothing happens with this or after this. So we'll see. And likewise, I haven't looked anything up yet, thankfully.
Indeed.
I haven't actually had to look up anything that I've run into. At least not that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I know I've looked up some stuff on Divinity Original Sin 2, but I haven't had to on this. So I have no idea how far the main game goes. I think the max, somebody told me the max level was 20. Others have told me with the expansions it goes up to 16. And I think originally it was like 10 or 12 or something. Anyway, long story short, or short story long as it were, I have no idea how long the main game is or how long the expansions are. I've heard that the first expansion was really good, the second part of the expansion less so. But I guess if you take it as a whole, it was a pretty good thing overall. But again, I don't know. Is this a 5-part, 4-chapter, 3-act? Like, what are we looking at here as far as the game goes? I don't know. I have no idea how far into the game we are at this point. Like, as far as, like, percentage-based. Are we at the halfway mark? Are we still in the first third? Are we a quarter of the way in? I don't know. Because, again, at this point, we've only been dealing with the main storyline, the original game, if you will. Alright, let's go see if we can't get some peeps to join us. Nope, not from you. I guess we'll go to your leader. Oh, it looks like a bunch of people are still alive, huh? Seda looks like she's had a bath and a few square meals. She smiles shyly. Wyla, nothing. I feel like they were a bit more ravaged last time I saw them.
The Knights have their ambitions, but the stability of Defiance Bay is foremost in their mind. The Dukes are thinking only of their trading assets, not the long-term health of our partners in the Deerwood. If Defiance Bay falls, all we will have left are overland routes. Not much comfort.
I don't want to see anything bad happen to Defiance Bay either. They seem like good allies to have if we're going to see the Duke. Yeah. Palagina nods. No group in the city is better connected to the Duke or better equipped to handle the dozens if they get out of hand. Well, we have done a lot to, you know, gain their favors, so let's hope it works out. He smiles warmly. What may I do for you? I understand that the Crucible Knights are attending the Animancy hearings at the palace.
Indeed. Duke Avar looks to the Knights for prudent counsel as well as defense. I suspect our future as a city and a nation will depend in no small part on how we handle this matter.
Right you are. He clasps his hands behind his back. Well, what do you think about Animancy? Well, despite what happened with the Forge Knights, Animancy merits further study in other contexts. There's much yet that Animancers could do to cure soul maladies, strengthen essence, perhaps even... what? Ameliorate the effects of the legacy? Never heard that word before. He scratches his chin. We won't know until we try, and we can't afford to sit on our hands while our rivals watch us grow weak. Tell me about the hearings. He gives you a gruff frown. They're progressing slower than I'd like. The dozens raise a ruckus whenever anyone so much as mentions animancy, and the dominels are, oh boy, obfuscating matters on purpose. I know I can say that word. I'm pretty sure I didn't say it right, but meh. It's the first recording of the day, guys and gals. My voice is barely alive, but we're gonna try and get through it. Nevertheless, I am confident Avar will see reason eventually. Well, I need an audience with Duke Avar. I'd like to attend the hearings. And we'll be glad to have you with us. Avar will no doubt find your presence persuasive, and we need all possible support to see that he gives animancy a fair chance. Indeed or indeed, I will make sure he sees reason. And that one. Was there something else? Nope, that's it. Return to Brackenberry and... Really? This is how you chose to make the game longer? Like, absurd load times? I don't know, maybe something's going to happen. Maybe we get assaulted by the dozens, or the dominels, or assassins again. I kid and tease a little bit, but at the same time, it's not 100% wrong. It's okay. The big downside, or the big losers this weekend, while I'm pretty much dedicating the entire weekend to... playing, well, I mean, other than people not being able to show up to the live stream because it won't be on or alive, are all the new titles that have come my way real recently. I have quite a few things that I wanted to cover, and I was hoping I'd have time to cover it this weekend and get a bunch of first looks and just early access coverage and all sorts of other stuff up and running. It looks like that's going to take a side seat or a back seat to getting a lot of progress made on this. Alright, back to the Hadrid house. I'm waiting for some more assassins to show up. Nothing. So literally padding out the load time. Alright, or advancing the storyline in a slower way. Can't she some sort of, like, use her mind powers to, like, contact me from a distance? Because she can get into my head, so clearly she has some mental powers, but I digress. They want to send me through 3 or 4 load screens just to talk to somebody. I guess we can make that happen. Better be worth it in the experience department. The tedium alone warrants it.
How fares your search?
Well, I want to discuss the animancy hearings at the palace.
What of them?
Actually, hold on. I want to see what else we have.
How fares your search?
If I'm going to do this for you, I think it's time you told me everything about Thaos. Yeah, that.
I've told you everything you need to know.
But not everything.
It's only right that you know everything.
Exactly.
When I was younger, before Dunreed Row, I had many suitors. These were fine-looking men of good stock, but I could see their thoughts, and they were unimpressive. Boys' thoughts. I toyed with their affections. I resented all of them.
Typical woman, I'm just saying. Don't kill me. Don't dislike this, that's fine. Lady Webb looks down at her hands, lost in thought. She shakes her head. A rattling sigh struggles to escape her throat.
And then I met a man whose mind was a mystery to me. But he understood me. He knew me at a glance. Told me things I didn't know about myself. He was neither handsome nor charming. He was all I ever wanted.
You're talking about Thaos, aka Thanos, destroyer of universes. Or savior to all. Who knows?
We made a game of my gift. He would ask me about people, and I would tell him what they were thinking. Sometimes the information was very sensitive. And then one day he asked me if I trusted him. I said I did.
Fool.
Next I knew I was donning a silver mask and swearing oaths to Woodica. Using my gift for the leaden key still felt like a game to me, so I did it. I did it because it pleased him.
Well, I bet that didn't last.
I don't like living in the dark. It's a powerless, hopeless feeling.
You live in a windowless room, lady.
Every day I did things without knowing their purpose.
That kind of dark.
Every day I loved a man without knowing his thoughts of me. I sensed that there were things he wanted to tell me. I sensed that he knew everything the Leaden Key was created to hide. But Thaos was unyielding. One day, I disappeared without a word. He would kill me for it, and I knew that. It's their rule. I just wanted to see him plunge the knife, because then I would know. But the day never came. He has left me to wonder.
Interesting.
I have devoted my years to learning everything I could about him, in hopes I would find some clue as to who he really was, and why he felt he had to keep his secrets locked away. I have precious little to show for it. Just an old woman nagged by old thoughts.
She rubs at a smudge on her left palm.
And that is truly everything I can tell you about Thaos. I hope you will accept this embarrassing story as a show of my good faith.
Fair enough. She looks back up at you. Okay. Well, now we know how she knows so much about Thaos. I'd like to discuss the Animancy hearings at the palace. The knights have accepted me into their delegation.
Good. Avar Wolfgren looks to the Crucible Knights as a voice of reason and order. Speaking from their section should lend you credibility with him.
Good.
You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Deerwood can be mobilized against the Leaden Key, and Thaos can be rooted out.
Seems dangerous.
I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there.
I have a feeling things aren't going to go as well as we think. I also have a feeling that she's going to be dead when we return.
What of them?
Okay, let's go attend the hearings. I'm going to do this, but I also... I don't know if I need to do this and then go and do the war for my place, or if I need to do the war for the place first. I don't know. And I don't know how far down Cade Nua's Odd Nua place underneath goes. Is it 10 levels? Are we near the end? Is it 9? Is it 15? Is it 20? Like 30? I don't know. So many questions, so little answers. Though I probably could find all these things out just by looking up like a walkthrough. Where am I going? I should probably figure that one out. The first fires. Okay, that's where I thought I was going. It looks like the place where the Duke would be all chilling, be like, yeah, I'm rolling out in the first fires, doing what I do, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that whole scenario. That whole scenario. Okay, map. The Palace of the Duke. And beyond. No one's gonna try to kill me. Really. No murderers in the street gonna stop me and try to end my existence, bar me from entering. No? Okay. I'll take it. Well, it's been several years in the making, but it looks like we are definitely on track to finishing this, folks. I'll try to upload probably a big portion of this as I go along, because it's going to be mostly what I have recorded. I think what I'm going to end up doing is maybe just go alternating between Divinity Original Sin 2 and Pillars of Eternity: The White March, just to play catch up to where the Colonel's actually at with his uploads, and get back on schedule with that, and then also upload a bunch of these so you guys can get more and more hyped up and ready for the release of Pillars of Eternity 2. I think I'm at the point where it's probably a place has been reserved for you on the balcony. A player named Gus. Go to the upper floor. So I'm going to say with a relatively large amount of certainty, I'm probably not going to get my hands on... Well, I'm not going to be playing a... We received word from Commander Cleaver that you would be attending a player named Gus. The balcony has been opened for you. Okay. I'm not going to be able to get back to where I was in time with everything else that I'm doing to record another episode of Pillars of Eternity 2 as a sneak peek. So we'll just probably go once the game goes into its final form, if you want to call it that, or like launch day patch, or whatever version 1.0 that it releases at. And then as soon as I'm able to, I will at that point go ahead and start releasing the Let's Play and the content for that as well. Alright, let's see how this flies. The room below is animated amidst a heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible Knights, stiff in their noisy armor, sit in one section. In another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casual, watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are ramshackled dozens, who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspersed are animancers in their academic robes with expressions either sour or concerned.
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
At the back of the chamber sits the Duke, sprawled in his throne, worn down but alert and feisty nonetheless. Okay.
Ramir de Barask is originally from Palminia. He's one of the finest minds in animancy to come out of the Valian Republics. He left for Defiance Bay 5 years ago, because he believed this was the true heart of animancy research.
Pallegina leans in for a whisper. In Pallegina's words and the way she looks at her countrymen, you sense both pride and a mild sense of frustration.
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
And I suppose your blazing profits during the legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
Nice.
So you admit, Master Barask, that animancy is no closer to stopping the legacy than it ever was.
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown...
Oh boy.
Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it.
There is no need. Master Azo recently passed the Shroud. And while the experiment failed, his work...
His work was
a new delegate
sabotaged.
from the Knights of the Crucible. What makes you say sabotage?
All at once, the attendees turned their faces towards you. A mishmash of judgment and incredulity. It's fine. Only the Duke, a wild-looking man with a scraggly beard, seems unfazed by your interruption. A rival animancer confessed to me during an investigation I conducted there. I met a false patient in Brackenberry Sanitarium who had tampered with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children.
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this animancer Azo not still accountable here?
This is not the Bale Reach incident. This is a responsible scientist who was manipulated.
Horseshit. These animancers can't be trusted. Look at what happened in Heritage Hill. Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes animancy leaves.
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
Fair enough.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justiciar. You turn a blind eye and look what happens.
I've been to Heritage Hills since the quarantine. Though the Knights were unable to control the damage, it was not animancy, but an ancient machine that caused it. The Crucible Knights are blameless here. This was not the workings of animancy, but an ancient device, and yeah, we're gonna go with that one.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
You think some rotting corpse or volunteer guard could stand in my way? I earned my answers. Honest. My word is my oath. I challenge anyone here to find someone who knows different. Yeah, well, we've built up an honest rep. Let's use it.
I had heard whispers of a new delegate set to attend today's hearing. I admit that your candor was mentioned more than once.
See? It was mentioned twice. That's why we got 2 points.
Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
Tyr Naunith, whatever, houses an Ingwithan machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made the district undead.
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
Their presence doesn't prove cause. This testimony is not evidence. It is a guess. A guess, rather, not a guess. I have reason to believe that there were others in that tower who might have done this. There's no denying they were studying dangerous machinery they did not understand. I have reason to believe there were others.
Animancy has many enemies. You need only look around this room to see it.
That's fair.
You're missing the point. Everywhere there's animancers, there's disaster.
That's because they're the only ones that can solve some sort of issue?
We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge.
That's funny. Wrong bridge indeed.
It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural
this guy.
order while the rest of us gotta suffer for it.
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son, my wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs, he couldn't cough up. My daughter, we put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn cop!
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate?
Good point.
Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
I can. The grieving mother reaches toward your mind with hers. Bring order to the chaos here. Oh, look, it's even I can. Literally like I just said it. What? The crowd begins to mutter, the sound taking a doubtful character. Right idea, Watcher. Taking this hearing by the curly ones. Don't waste your chance. Widewind's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Caedmon Azo's downfall was their work, as was the tower in Heritage Hill. They want you to do this. They want animancy to fail. Or fall. The dull mutterings expand into a din of skepticism that fills the hall. I have seen them in the ruins of Ir Glonfoth, operating machines that disrupt and redirect the flow of souls near towns like Gilded Vale and Deerford, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have learned their dead confess their plot, or heard their dead confess their plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
The room laughs. Please, I only want to help Deerwood. You want to see crazy? Make one more smart comment just like that. Birth invalids until your womb dries for all I care. The rest of the people will hear the truth. You shame your order by dismissing the truth before hearing it, madam. I expect better from a Knight of the Crucible. If he did, for your husband's sake, I hope he at least left a brothel unlocked. If, as the Duke says, no theory has more proof than any other, what is the harm in hearing one more? Their quips cannot change the truth. You shame your order by dismissing the truth before hearing it, madam. Yeah, that one.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
The Duke leans forward in his throne, a trace of curiosity in his eyes. What's more likely? Okay, let's see here. That the gods are destroying Deerwood for a science practiced in many parts of the world, or that a group of people hates animancy and wants it suppressed. The Leaden Key is very real. They are foreigners from Adir and Rayad Ceres who hate Deerwood and want to see us suffer. Let's say a lord is cuckolded by his wife. If he tells her to stop, she'll only want her lover more. But if he spreads a rumor that her lover has just visited a brothel and acquired a pox on his loins, she'll end it on her own. Wow. We all want the same thing here. We want Widewind's legacy to end. If we work together instead of arguing, we can stop the people who are doing this. Honest? Ooh, we're 3 times as honest now. If you know anything about me, you know this. I have been called many things, but never a liar. An honest witness is the best piece of evidence you have in this matter.
The only piece of evidence.
The only piece of evidence that doesn't send your kind to the gallows, you mean?
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
Well, the Knights of the Crucible were instrumental in aiding my investigation.
I see. I'm impressed the Knights seized such an unlikely opportunity to find an end to all of this. But these hearings are about more than Widewind's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenberry Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
Let's see. I would allow Animancers to continue their work. They explore questions we all wish to understand. If we know more, or if we'd known more, perhaps this crisis could have been averted. Animancy should be studied in Deerwood. If you don't, someone else will, and they will wield great power over you. The Animancers of Deerwood have been given too long a leash. The practice should be restricted and controlled. In truth, I'm not completely confident Animancy doesn't have something to do. Well, no. Animancy is too dangerous. We were not meant to use it, and we have proven why we are unworthy of it. It should be outlawed. I would allow Animancers to continue their work. They explore questions we all wish to understand. If we'd known more, perhaps we could have... Alright, that's fine. We're going to go with that one. Her face still, Pelagina looks your way and subtly nods in approval. I do not trust these Animancers, seeking first after gain and glory. But if they can heal our children, I would not hinder them.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest. I want to thank the delegations for helping me collect my thoughts. And our new delegate, who has warned us of a new possibility that must be looked into.
Fair enough.
The time has come to choose a direction for the Deerwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement. Ramir D. Barash, representing the interests of Animancers in Deerwood, step forward.
Okay.
Your Grace.
Uh-oh. The door just opened in the back. Oh dear. What's gonna happen? Uh-oh.
It occurs to me now that my concerns about Animancy may not outweigh its value.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
Like, we saw that. Can't we
What's he doing?
What?
No! Avenge the Doom!
No, wait!
Stop this at once!
Oh no. That's really bad.
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you?
I think so.
Another time. I am already late.
Oh, and I just collapsed into a heap. Whoa. The words, "Shall I end it for you," ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath. Struggling to keep your own balance, you drop to a knee and watch as Thaos hurries out of the building. The world dims around you, and the screams and clashing of weapons fading to silence. All that remains are the words.
Shall I end it for you?
Sorry about that, folks. Dying slightly there. Thaos stands at a pulpit high above an assembly of robed onlookers. You among them, clustered around a wide circular pit carved of stone. He addresses a woman bound backward over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone maw. Many of the women's fingers and toes are severed. Oh, well, that's lovely. And bottoms of her feet are charred black. The skin on one side of her face looks like melted candle wax, black and red and seeping. And the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet for all that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
Creepy. Her eyes are barely open and her words come between strangled breaths. They are steady, unbroken.
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
He nods to a hooded attendant who begins untying her from the wheel. A player named Gus was granted Dominion of the Sleepers. You open your eyes to the beamed ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall. The clangs of metal striking metal waft in from outside alongside the cries of the injured as you stagger to your feet. Thaos is gone. Sagani is patting your cheek with a firm but gentle hand. Get up. Trouble's already found us. Off to one side, you can hear the clinking rustle of chainmail, and you look over to see a wounded guard slumped against a wall. He is trying to say something, seemingly directed at you, but at first it is too faint to hear. He gathers his breath and manages to rasp out a few words. Lady Webb. She's the only... She must be told. She'll know what to do. Please, find her. Tell her everything. The guard passes out and slides to the floor, still. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to go back to Lady Webb. I didn't see this twist well... I mean, it's obvious, right? He's just but how did he get through the... Well, I suppose he can pretty much do what he wants, right? Just come over there, kill the guard, walk through, do that whole scenario. Nobody seemed to care that the door opened and there was an interruption. I don't know. I don't know. A little far-fetched for me. I'm just saying. A little bit far-fetched. But I suppose that's a tale for another time. We're going to go ahead and steal what we can, and we're going to go ahead to Lady Webb in the next episode. Hopefully my dying will be under control by then, and everything will be okay. Until then, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.